really? You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee! Coffee, 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 coffee!
God damn, Jimmy. That's some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
There you go. Yeah, John, new opening. I like to refresh every once in a while, add more, because there's tons of funny little coffee anecdotal movie clips and shit. I got to leave half my earphones off because the guy is here to work on our air conditioner here. And it's they had it fixed and then it went down again. And part of the problem is the house we're in is not grounded. And that's important because you can blow a lot of stuff out running something big like refrigerators, freezers, air conditioning units. So they have got to find a way to get this house grounded just for their own sanity. I turned off the fan today. I got to be honest with you. I'm used to heat. In fact, I think that might be them now. Hello? Outstanding. Thank you very much.
It's actually a back capacitor. Where are you at?
Oh, is that what it was?
There you are.
It was a bag capacitor.
Yeah. So this is basically, that's the capacitor. So it pretty much exploded. The fan is run off the capacitor as well. So that's why it and then the compressor both failed. So
Fantastic. I'll let them know.
Okay. And he can call in a payment. Well, of course, this isn't warranty. This wasn't anything we replaced. This is still part of it. So
Thanks a lot, man.
no problem. I'll just leave this with you.
All right.
And I guess he does live here, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he can just pay it. I'm not charging a service call just for the part. So.
All right. Outstanding. He'll appreciate that.
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Have a good day today.
You
There you go, guys. So AC's up and running. Let's see. I want to say hi to everybody. Gap is here. Gap was the first one here. That fucker was, I think he was here before me. Good morning, Gap. After dark, you changed your name. Das Waldfin, my friend John is here. Scribe Light is here. How are you doing, my friend? Zachariah 315, Kingsport, Cal. So goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, where the dogs of society howl. You can't plant me in your penthouse. I'm going back to my plow. Classic tune by Elton John. I should have said the Monkees. Tin Man is here. I'm bringing Skinwalker Ranch. It's awesome, but I'm not on season 3 yet. Well, I'm at a point now watching this show that I'm terrified. What they're finding out. As it goes on Skinwalker Ranch, so goes the fucking world. Well, I'm still having it. The internet problems. So as long as I'm not doing anything, the flux capacitor. Good morning, Monkey Jeebus. But yeah, it's the internet problem is that on Wi-Fi, it's less than 1 megabyte per second or megabit per second on the upload speed. And that really fucks you on gaming and on streaming. So as long as I'm careful, it's not going to be too fucking awful. I should go in and change my settings, though, for my camera. I don't think I need to go below 480. I'm at 480 right now. So let's see, where are we? Lovely Sherry, good morning. Monkey Jeebus, my friend, how are you? And awesome. I got most of my morning crew yet. I am really concerned about that Canadian internet because I haven't seen Mr. Tickle Trunk in over a week. I hope they have that all resolved up there. I'm doing some new work beyond the comic book I'm working on for a client. I am also doing a new book with Polly from Latino Slant. I'm illustrating his book. And we had a great meeting yesterday. And I sat and I did 3 pages of art sketches, rough sketches, just to get the general idea what the page is going to be like. And then I'll clean them up over the next week. And then we'll have another meeting next week because I think we're going to get probably 6 total illustrations for the book. Looking forward to doing this. I love Polly. And don't forget this afternoon, 2:00, TGIF, we got Cameron Pasha coming on. Cameron Pasha pushed poor Keith and I to have to watch the entire season of Ms. Marvel. And I felt like such a skeevy old dude watching a teen romp. It's kind of a teen rom-com action show. It's got very little action. It's mostly a rom-com. It's your typical flowering, blossoming story of a girl, coming of age thing. And I just feel creepy as fuck watching it. I got to be honest. I'm going to talk about that this afternoon. That I felt weird watching it. And you know what I got to tell you? The writing in it's actually pretty damn good. But it's not my cup of tea. This, however, is my cup of coffee. And can you read it? It says Gerry with a J. This was my friend's dad's name. And he passed away. And so now I've been gifted the cup. And it's funny. Good morning, Penny. How are you doing? Yeah, lovely Sherry. It's just not my thing. And I got to be honest, this is a show really, and I do expect that it will do well with young girls because that's who it's made for. I mean, look, I got to remind you again that Victoria Alonso doesn't give 2 fucking shits about males. She hates men. She is absolutely a misandrist. She hates men. She is an angry lesbian, feminist lesbian. And she targets anything that's masculine. And so she's been part of the derailment, if not all of the derailment that's happened. I mean, because look, I know that Kevin Feige's woke, but look what he delivered beforehand, before she really kicked in. And then after she came into power, all of a sudden everything shifted. You get that A-team scene. I'm glad to hear it, Penny. By the way, your son and I are friends on Facebook, so I saw you were on there, and I wanted to ask if it's okay if I friend you on my personal account. I didn't want to do it without asking you. Kingsport Cows. Decepticons Cave of Villains. I finished season 2 of Skinwalker Ranch, but I'm not paying anymore for season 3. And then I highly recommend you use this website, F Movies. I think this is it. Yep, I think that's it. I think that's it. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I need to make sure I have the right address. Yep, that's it. Okay. All right. So I have the right address. I'm going to share screen 1. Share screen. Boom. This is the website I go to. Look at the URL up in window, address window. That is a free website I go to occasionally. You can do it too. I don't condone piracy, but this is different. This is streaming. You never download anything. You're watching it online. Do make sure that you have a program like these two, AdBlock Plus and AdBlock. AdBlock Plus is really one solid program. And the whole idea is you're blocking their ads. You don't want their ads popping up on you. And they have a lot of stuff. And they have that series. I'll click here, go to that page. You'll see, because I have access to some of these shows because we have DirecTV here. But there are some shows we don't have. Like we don't have Hulu shows or Netflix shows. Or do we have Netflix? I have Amazon Pro myself. I had Paramount Plus, but I got rid of it as of this month. There's nothing up there I really want to watch all the time that I don't already own. So all these shows, and there it is, Skinwalker Ranch. Boom. It's on the very first page of TV shows right now. So if you go up there, you'll be able to see it. And the way you watch it, again, is you make sure you have ad programs, ad blocker programs. I also use, what is another one I use? Hold on. Highly recommend uBlock Origin. uBlock Origin. Very good, especially if you're using Firefox. It'll block everything that you don't want coming through ads-wise. Good morning, your Muslim uncle. Hey, I was curious because we got Cameron Pasha coming on this afternoon, and he has and I gotta be honest with you, I agree with him on this show. It really is a good representation of your typical Pakistani Muslim family. I dislike the attacking on Great Britain's colonialism because if not for that colonialism, there wouldn't be an India. India wouldn't exist. But Pakistan itself was part of that separation that took place when Britain left. And what did you think of their representation, if you saw it at all, or your thoughts on that in general? I am really curious. And by the way, assalamu alaikum. And we learned all the greetings when I was in the military because we interacted a lot with, I interacted a lot with a lot of our Arab interpreters. I love Skinwalker Ranch, Travis Taylor. Yes, he's also one of my favorite astrophysicists. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the shit out of Michio Kaku. But his, because the Script Doctor and I don't completely agree with Script Doctor. The fact that I don't think he's useless. I think he's fascinating. But his holding on to string theory is problematic because string theory has already been considered not completely debunked, but just basically it doesn't fucking work exactly that way. But yes, ad blocker. I've never used AdGuard. I've used AdBlocker Plus, and uBlock Origin is one of the most solid ad blockers I have ever seen. It gets everything. I will pop up on a page. Most of my ad blocker programs, you'll see like 12, 24. You'll look over at uBlock Origin. It's got like 48 to 60 that it's blocked, little scripts. It's fucking amazing. And you don't pay a damn dime for it. And I did contribute because they have that thing when you download it. If you would like to submit, tip or something like that, it's like, hell yeah, you guys are fucking amazing. Salam. It's I always joke that learning my Arabic greeting was just like learning Vulcan because when you say the line live long and prosper, there's actually a response to it. Peace and long life is the response, and it's very similar with the Arabic greeting of assalamu alaikum, as-alaikum salam. That's the response. I always love that. It's and I really do consider it one of the most poetic sounding languages. Let's see, where was I? I will not watch Tom Swift. Fuck that show. Yes, he is. Yep. Wait, did Dork Knight show? Is Dork Knight here? I didn't see Dork Knight.
Yes, he is.
I'm not seeing.
I'm sorry for that.
Oh, there he is. Good morning, Dork Knight. You want to send him an invite if he wants to join us?
Yes, I will.
It's such a beautiful morning. It really is. The house is already cooling off. I'm sitting here and it's like I can feel the cool air rising. We lost the air conditioner day for yesterday. It was like, fuck, right in the middle of a heat wave. So I've been sleeping with my fan in the bed. No shit, in the bed with me. And I'm like, just remember, don't put your toes in it while you're sleeping and don't kick it over. It's not one of those big box fans. It's one of the smaller circular fans like I have here on my desk. I've turned it off today because it gets so obnoxious, and I hate you guys having trouble hearing me. No, I saw a comment. I thought it was from me. Oh, wait. It might have been his aunt then. I just thought it was you for some reason. I bet it was his aunt. Have I gotten a response? I've not gotten a response from my Muslim uncle. I was hoping to get one. What was this? What was the last ad on your recommended for Firefox, Gerry? What do you mean, Aaron? I'm not sure I understand your question.
About the ad blocking software.
Oh, the two ad blockers that I use religiously are Ad Blocker Plus or AdBlock Plus and uBlock Origin. They're the two best. I mean, they don't miss anything, and it will piss off. It'll piss off some of the websites I go to. It's like, you need to turn it off if you want to see our content. And I'm like, well, all right, guess I'll do it. Because it won't let anything through. I have never had an ad pop through with those two running. I've never had a pop up. Fucking, they'll have these fake links. You'll mouse over something. See how I'm mousing over this? You see that? This is telling me that I'm actually getting to the content. But a lot of these sites put a false link over top of it. So when you go to mouse over it, the description doesn't show up. And you're like, what the fuck? And you have to click on it and you get a stupid pop-up. And then the show information will show up. Sometimes after two, you have to click on it twice. But with my ad blockers that I use, they completely block it. And I wouldn't mind asking what you guys thought of the latest episode of Orville. I thought it was better than last week's. Still on the morality issues, but that's Star Trek. You know, they're taking some of the best parts of Star Trek, including TOS and TNG, and then adding in their own little twist to it. But this episode, what I liked is they did a little shuffle on you, because you typically have your A, B, and C, or AB stories or ABC stories, which is your A story is your primary one. And they start out with this one story as the A story, but in the end, it goes back to Isaac. And Isaac goes from being the B story to the A story. And the A story goes to the B story. And then there's this like C story, which is the engineer keeps getting bones broken, having sex with the security officer, because she's of a different species. She's like Superman, basically. She was born on a planet with the denser gravity and everything. And so denser atmospheric pressures. So she's like a beast in our gravity. And so she keeps breaking bones on him. And that stayed pretty much the C story all the way through the episode. But the A story switched to the B story, and the B story became the A story close to about 20 minutes in. And I got a kick out of that, the way they did the switch up. I really enjoyed the episode. They have little problems here and there, like how the captain, because they're doing classic Star Trek as some of this, having the captain go on away missions. But we've been kind of spoiled with, getting older and learning how that shit works with ships, that your captain doesn't go on away missions. That's your first officer. That's their job. Remember to have to. So Tennessee's nice today. That's good to hear, buddy. And I want to say good morning to my friend Awesome One is here. And if I didn't already say it to you, Aaron, good morning, my friend. How are you doing? It's so good seeing all you guys.
Good morning.
Greetings, buddy. How you doing? Here we go.
Good morning, Dork.
Good morning, Martin.
Here we go. Alaikum salam, Gerry. Didn't know much about partition or Indian history prior to the show. Looked up some info. In 200, the Brits took 100 of millions of natural wealth from the people of India. Oh, there's no question. They were true colonialists. America doesn't really do that. It's like somebody told me once, when we go to war, we take all this stuff. And it's like, we didn't profit from Iraq. We lost money fighting to topple Saddam Hussein. And we made no money off of Afghanistan. Everything went back to those countries. When we fought the first Gulf War, all the money went back to the countries that were supposed to get the money. So, you can say that about old colonialism. You can't say it about modern colonialism. It's a little different now because we try to be responsible with what we do. Now, the one thing we do, and I'm not saying do, but we are saying do. I'm putting a pause in there so you don't fucking do it. Is we will allow contracts to take place with certain corporations. And those corporations will make a fucking fortune. But that's not our country. That's individual corporations getting money off of the hard work of the people in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the soldiers who fought the fucking war. And by the way, something came up just recently because I was talking about it. In my book, Vindicated Inc., there's a scene where the Tier 1 operators are going to do a joint operation with Afghani special forces. And two of the guys were trained by the main character in the story. And so I thought it was interesting to show what that's like, because we talk about it, that because you get a lot of compliments when you hear it on TV or in specials. People want to compliment like the Iraqi special forces or Afghani special forces. But one thing that they picked up that was a bad habit, and I'm not sure who taught it to them, but they have the spray and pray technique when they do breaching. And it came up, the conversation came up over the TV series or Amazon series, the Terminalist.
Terminalist, yeah.
And I said, yeah, because they had a tendency of when we breach a room, and even the way I was trained to do CQB and mount training, you go up to the door, window, and or wall. You put on a wall. That was all of our favorites way to go into a building was through a wall, because nobody ever expects it. They're always looking at the door or windows. You go up to a wall where there's a clear area, and you put a shape charge around the wall. You blow it up, and you've seen it. If you played Call of Duty, they have something similar to it. They have a plate. That's not what we use, but we do use plasma-based shape charges, and it blows a hole in the wall. As it's exploding, you begin the breach, and you're throwing in flashbangs as you go in. And in the show, and I think maybe they're trying to keep this knowledge away from people, what a lot of these Tier 1 operators and breachers do, and all your breachers do this. We're all trained to take flashbangs. We know the count in our head. So when we throw the grenade, we know when to duck and or close our eyes for a split second. And that way the flash doesn't hit us, but the concussion, we're trained because we got headgear equipment on anyway. So we're just going to hear a loud thump. And we go in there, and we're already breaching by the time those bangs go off. And I know Tier 1 operators are better at it than we were, because we were low-level fucking breachers. We were your basic door kickers when I was infantry. And so it's, hey, Mr. Tickle Truck is here. Holy
You're
shit,
just now
man.
noticing that.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen him in days. It's so good to see you. Well, when I'm focused on talking, I'm just focused on talking.
Oh, for sure.
It's just the way I operate. Yes, I think it was your aunt that commented on your page yesterday. It was not Penny, so I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was your mom. It was no. I went back and I'm like, yeah, it's your aunt. Yeah, we spend money, we lose money doing this, but the fact is, look, I look at the global world as living in an apartment complex, and I know this from firsthand experience. That when I saw somebody getting abused in an apartment complex, I didn't turn a blind eye to it. I was trained and raised better than that. I put my nose in that shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm in here. I saw what you fucking did. Yeah, if I get. Yes,
Sorry.
I was worried about Tickle Trunk because they lost the internet for a while.
Oh, is he up in Canada?
Yeah, he's up in Canada.
Oh, okay.
And what was this? A sect of Islam in a clear understanding of Sharia, either Sunni or Shia Islam, based on their current Aqidah. I don't know how to pronounce it, Aqidah, and Hindu-style transmigration of souls. That's really up to Allah. Yeah, I roger that. Hey, Mom, not my mom, but still Mom. It's so good to see all you guys. I've been stressed out over the internet here. And here's what happened yesterday, just to give you a heads up. I got all the new stuff in. I got my adapter. I got my Ethernet cable. All showed up late, but I got it. I plug it in, and it's CenturyLink. It's an old modem. It's like, what the fuck do you want from me? It didn't even know how to use Ethernet anymore. Nobody had ever set it up for Ethernet. And so we ran into a huge problem. And so they're going to have to order a whole new modem. I mean, I still require the adapter and Ethernet plug because I don't have plugins for Ethernet. I have HDMI and what do you call it? USB ports. I'm sorry, I'm looking over in the chat. And I really don't know how to pronounce that one word again. I want to show it up again. Akeda. I don't know how to pronounce that word if I'm saying it right.
Akeda? I don't know.
No, that's Al.
No, I didn't say Al Qaeda. I said
shut up.
Al-Qaeda. I don't know.
Yes, he is. And of course, Martin is from Venezuela by way of Indiana and now Mexico. And he puts on this fake Mexican accent. I never understand it. He will sit down and he'll be talking to me, and I feel awful when it happens, to be honest with you. He'll say something, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you just said to me. You have no clue. Because his Venezuelan accent is different from like Mexican accents, for real.
Yeah. You have
go
to
ahead,
point
Martin.
it out. So if you don't understand me,
I've told you. I'm like, you need to say that again one more time, and then I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying to me. And I even had to have you spell something out for me once. I don't know what fucking word you're trying to say, and it's driving me crazy.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, you don't owe me an apology, my friend. I should have taken Spanish instead of French and German. Pointless fucking languages to learn. But what were we talking about? We were talking about.
You were talking about Orville when I first got here. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've been talking about three things. So Orville, I enjoyed this last episode better than the previous episode, and I've had 2 episode problems, major problems. One, when they went to that planet and they end up in an alternate reality, but it ends up you find out it's virtual.
Yeah.
Your captain and your first officer on the same away mission is
Yeah.
ridiculous. You only saw that shit with TOS, and I think that's a nod to. I really do believe that's a nod to classic Star Trek, the original and only true Star Trek. But by the way, if you want to skip that stream, I need to change it. If you go down into this description down below, PayPal is so much better if you ever do want to give a tip. I hardly ever get those things, and but I'm fine. I'm going to do away with the PayPal thing. I keep saying PayPal. I mean CashApp. CashApp doesn't take a percentage out, and I love that.
Yeah, that's what I use. I actually just got Josh on that. So
yeah, it's a wonderful program, and I'm moving away from using PayPal completely because they take out way too much. So does YouTube. They take out 30%, ridiculous amount.
That's crazy.
Let's see, voting. Well, I'm going to get to Skinwalker Ranch because I opened up with that, and I'm telling you, if you're watching that show, you should be somewhat terrified of the ramifications. And go back to that one. I was on the last sentence on that last one. There we go. Okay. You can go ahead and move on, buddy. But I did the time travel episode of Orville where the whole thing was this moral issue of it's in its own skewed way. It was talking about abortion. Yeah. And I disliked that episode because it didn't take into account that, yes, they were ending people's lives, 2 kids. Yes, 2 kids. And that they had waited so long. So how do they know they actually did? They go back in time to grab him. They should have done it in the first place. What they did was so not diplomatic. You don't tell somebody
it was unnecessarily cruel. You know,
it's very unnecessary. You don't tell somebody you're going to unmake them. Like and I know Seth MacFarlane had a lot to do with the writing. It was really fucking stupid. Bad writing. So I had a lot of problems with that episode. Even though I thought it was a very good outcome, I think that the end of that show should have ended with him the way it began. With that fucking phone in his hand, looking at her, wondering what life they could have had. I wonder what that was like. You know, how that is like an obvious fucking way to end a show. Not the way they did. And I was very disappointed with what they did. And Spanish is really, Spanish and English, German, are 2 languages that translate well to English in many ways. Not in other ways, but it's actually better than French and Italian. I will tell you that right now. German is the single best, easy to translate. It was easy to learn because so many words come from Germany or words similar to them. And you speak almost like Yoda, though, at Germany. It's like when you want to, like, I would turn to Danny and go, "Hey, Danny, can you open that there window? Thanks, buddy." Right? Makes sense. That's not how you say it in German. Can you make the window open, please, Danny? That's German. Machen Sie die Fenster bitte. Machen Sie die Tür auf, bitte. Make you the door open. Make you the window open. Really fucking weird. Also,
I don't know why, but when you speak German, you sound really pretentious. I don't know why.
You know, German is a pretentious language. It's like French. French is a pretentious language. Spanish is organically beautiful. But I'll tell you a language that is hard, but at the same time gorgeous when you speak it is Russian. It sounds amazing. And I love the sound of, mainland Chinese. Hayao buyao, bang mang.
Yeah, I agree with you, Doss Wolf, and I thought that was like it just that scene really ticked me off too. Like,
which scene was that?
He's talking about at the end of the Gordon episode where they're just sitting around drinking and Gordon's like, "Oh, I was so selfish. I can't believe I was so selfish." And like,
yeah, it was really fucking dumb. It's like, look, you gave 3 years of your fucking life and they didn't fucking come. So you
Right.
have to assimilate. You
Time
have to find
travel,
a way to
man.
fit in.
They should have, like, even a month is too damn long. They should have got there like the second you showed up.
So, but this latest episode was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Man, I tell you what, Kadish toured. I actually enjoyed it a lot. And then we had our show last night with Salty Trekker, and he kept pointing stuff out and using my own words and points against me.
For
And I
what,
was
the
like,
latest episode?
Yeah, he was
Like, what
just
was
like,
it?
Well, he was like, what was he say? He was like, the whole thing was just like anti-male, whether it was like promoting spousal abuse on a man with Lamar, which I thought was a bit of a stretch, but like he was making an argument for it, and then how that one race like made men subservient to them, almost like slaves, and
Well,
and how
this is very similar though to an
union.
episode they did with Riker.
Yeah,
in Next Generation, and I do believe it was the inspiration for this episode.
But then and then Claire making Isaac change. I don't know, like I didn't see any of this, but like while watching it,
No,
like,
it's you're,
but Kadish
he's
was very much like, this is all a man-hating episode, like kind of thing. I was like, oh.
Well, look, it starts out feeling that way, and I think he was trying to make you feel uncomfortable. But the fact is halfway through, they're like, look, man, and this should have been their philosophy from the very get-go. They shouldn't have tried to pull a ruse.
Mm-hmm.
And they used the excuse of her excuse was how she cheated on him.
Yeah, I thought it was so weird, like that the Admiral went along with it. Really, you want your whole, like, you're trying to do
a lie, build a relationship on a lie.
On a lie? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it seemed like something stupid that Ed and Kelly would do, but the second they ran it by the Admiral, I figured he would just shoot it down. And so when he didn't, I was like, okay, this is a little weird. I was like, that was that, and the what was the other? I only had like 2 issues. I actually really liked the episode a lot. I even cried at the end. When well, not at the very end, but at the part where Isaac lost his emotion. Like, I was like, no.
Yeah, I had an impact because that was my favorite part. I got to tell you, Isaac is really, just like Data, one of the best characters on the show. The most interesting, because he has the potential of the greatest growth as a character, the greatest arc, because he's starting with nothing. And anything he gains in the season is going to make him. The latest episode was about subjugation. There's even a stream that goes through all of the storylines about abuse. Isaac is pressured into getting an operation to make his mate happy. Yeah.
See, that's what Kadish was saying. And then he also compared it to, he said it was an allegory for radical Islam somehow, like, because of the, they were treating the men, I guess.
Bortus is the same way.
Yeah.
Bortus's home planet is the same way. It's the mirror of it.
Yeah.
So look, those are, I don't have a problem with those things, because those are things we may actually come across, cultures that are gender focused. Amazons in the fucking, they existed.
Hey, well, what did it? Kadish called them femazons. Femazons is what he called them.
I'm not sure, Tickle Trunk, because Seth MacFarlane secretly takes shots at Disney a lot, and so I don't know how much of a say they have. I think that Disney is the reason why, because they don't want to. I don't think they want to produce the show, and so that's why this may be the end of it. I think this season is weaker than season 2, but the writing's better, but the storytelling's below the level of season 2. And my only problem with season 2 was that one episode that actually was a handover from season 1 that didn't air, the porn addiction episode, because they fucked up the ABC storytelling. They made the C story the A story. It's like, look, man, you can switch A and B around. You can't fucking switch that third story, because it's a minor fucking part of the story. It's a character-driven aspect of the story for one character to show growth. And they ended up making, and they took the A story and put it in the C position, to where you got almost nothing on the rescue of this fucking planet that was dying. And that they were, in the end, they only could rescue a handful of people. Huge fucking mistake in the writing on that episode.
Yeah. So,
I think
Sportel,
that the storytelling is on par with season 2, but the actual writing is worse this season. And that blew my mind because episode 1 was so fucking good. That was the best episode. Season 3, episode 1 was the best episode of the entire fucking series. And then all of a sudden,
I love
started
that
taking a shit.
episode. But this last episode, up until Katie started tearing it apart, actually kind of slipped above 1 for me just because I laughed a lot more and I felt a lot more. But I think if I go back and watch it, I don't know if it'll hold up now after my talk with Katie yesterday, because he was just like, oh wow, I didn't even see that. Oh wow, now that I see that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know, that kind
What
of
do you
thing.
see? Oh, what you're talking about, yeah.
Well,
Episode
yeah.
1 and 2 were great in my opinion. After that, I haven't enjoyed. I don't even remember what episode 2 was.
2 was the spider people, you know.
Oh
like,
yeah, that was fucking good.
With the Admiral. Yeah.
They were going in the right direction with that. Even though on an away mission, not wearing protective suits in a new environment is dumb. I'm like going, and they could have found a way to still have it infect him. You know, I just by piercing the suit.
Yeah.
It's a little more fucking drama than sci-fi. And I had hopes because we got introduced to that fucking fighter. We haven't seen it in action yet.
Thing has, yeah. I mean, come, what's the point of it being introduced? And I tell you what, if I don't see that fucking sandwich, you know, before the end of this season, I'm gonna be mad.
Hey guys.
No, absolutely, it needs to show up, and it needs to show up at a funny moment.
Yeah.
What do you
Like-
think about this? But in my opinion, since they're at war, they should be like in Enterprise. They should be carrying a complement of troops and at least 2 fighters.
Yeah, because they talked about that with Star Trek. Because as Star Trek grew with the expanded universe, back even in the 80s, I remember this in the 80s and 90s, we started talking about a Marine detachments along with these. That some of your security, specifically on away missions, these guys were actually Colonial Marines or whatever they call them, Federation Marines. In the Star Trek universe, these guys were trained in combat, even though they died really quickly.
You talking about the Makos?
Whatever they're called, I forget what they're called.
No, the Makos, there wasn't Federation yet. When in the Makos time.
Yeah,
the Orville should have a complement.
Starfleet Marine Corps, or simply Starfleet Marines, are the infantry forces of the Federation Starfleet. But if they also follow regs with Navy, which they would still probably do, because Starfleet is based on how the Navy operated. Everything is based on it, and they even made the main shipyards being in San Francisco for a fucking reason. The whole point is that some of your main security on ships, the armed ones in particular, aren't SPs. Those are fucking Marines. Because Marines are still part of the U.S. Navy. They're an offshoot of the Navy. They were the spearhead that the ships would carry to. In fact, if you don't know the history of it, the very first use of the Marines in a non-colonial mission, which was anything that dealt with our shores, our waters, and our land, where we went somewhere else, was when we went to Tripoli. And we sent a very small contingent of Marines who gathered up farmers and other people from the region there in North Africa to join them to attack. And it was our first war against terror, because the Barbary pirates were fucking terror on the open ocean. And they basically were told that they could do whatever the fuck they want to the United States without any threat. And Jefferson's like, fuck that noise. I'm sending a Marine contingent there. So they went there and they gathered more men through farmers and people that wanted to fight against them. Some were conscripted, some maybe forced. We don't know the total truth on that. I've heard people say both. And when they go, because I know when someone's conscripted, they're going to get paid for what they're going to do. And I don't believe anybody was forced to join the Marine Corps. because we're fresh off of getting our fucking liberty. The last thing we're going to do is force somebody to do something against their fucking will without being paid. So we went there to Tripoli, kicked the shit out of them with a handful of fucking Marines. They did not know what they were dealing with the first version of Leathernecks. A lot of people don't know where the name Leatherneck comes from. The first Marines used terrapin skin, sea tortoise, leather, on the back of their collars, and that's where the word Leatherneck came from. I love history, especially military history. And it was our first war on terror, and we took on an Islamic nation that was harassing us and stealing from us by force. Under morals don't exist. Well, of course, that's what's his name that created that. He's a very amoral fucking person. I guarantee you, that guy never served a day in his life to anything other than himself.
Seth MacFarlane?
No, the guy that created The Boys.
Oh,
that's what's up on the screen.
Oh, Garth Ennis.
Yeah, Garth Ennis is a self-serving motherfucker, and he thinks everybody thinks like him. And this is the thing that I make fun of, because Freud came up with the psychosexual theory. Well, he came up with it based on his own fucking life. He was fucked up. He was screwing his wife's youngest sister. He had a fucked up life. And
I mean, that sounds pretty groovy to me, but whatever.
Well, psychosexual, everything ends at puberty. Once you hit puberty, he has no explanation to anything. That's why his theories don't hold water today. Jung did a better job with his theories than Freud. Even Jung's doesn't hold water.
Or what's the other one?
Eric Erikson is,
or Adler. Is it Adler?
Adler. Yeah. Eric Erikson is probably one of the best psycho researchers in the history of psychology. He was a psychiatrist, and his theories are some of the best theories. And it's what I learned when I was in nursing school. I took Psychology 101 and 102. Yeah, and it works with Preacher because it was fun. But I dislike the attack he puts on all superheroes, that they're all pieces of shit underneath. And it's like, well, maybe you're a piece of shit, Garth Ennis, but not everybody who wields authority is a fucking piece of shit. And it makes him, whereas I'm kind of cynical, he's a complete cynical douche. And that's really what I would use to describe him. He's a cynical douche. He's was it Stan, I think? Stan Marsh in South Park. Every time he heard somebody talk, he saw and heard them shitting out of their mouth. He became that cynical. I thought that was funny. Yeah. And these guys, they too go on to become prolific writers. And there are a lot of people who this is a nifty thing. I've never seen anybody write about things this way. I'm going to really fall in love with this. But when you do that, you're also enabling somebody who's got fucking problems. And I think Garth Ennis has fucking mental problems. I really do.
So does that mean you don't?
I'm not making fun of him. I think that he's got something wrong with him.
So you don't like The Boys?
I love The Boys.
Oh, okay.
But I have problems with that representation of what was brought up in the chat. What was this? Yeah, it's the idea for super rays where gods don't bow to their subjects. There we go. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead, Martin. I just want to read that one.
Don't worry.
I mean, I wouldn't do anything evil, but I'd probably rob a bank or two.
Well, you would look in The Boys. Here's the problem. These superpowers are giving to them when they're a child. That's not when you do it. You do it just like with Captain America, where you give it to them through a volunteer program where they pass these things, these tests. One of the things you would have to pass is a psychological test. When you've got a battery of doctors giving those tests, you can only fake so much. They will catch you. If you're a sociopath, they will catch you.
They test astronauts more than these superheroes.
Yeah, the whole thing about Garth Ennis's The Boys is stupid. Nobody would fucking do it that way. It's a terrible way to fucking do it. But you see, that's what Garth Ennis has to do. Garth Ennis has to create this, what he makes it look plausible, but then he's like, don't pay no attention to the feet sticking out from under the curtain there. Yes, there's someone behind the curtain. Oh, yeah, that's the creator of the story. That's me. I'm the person behind the curtain there. And I'm using Deus Ex Machina to make these things work. And Garth Ennis is an absolute user of Deus Ex Machina on everything he fucking writes. Some of the best stuff he's done that I enjoyed. Absolutely used it in those things. He makes these characters this way, and he forces it in a way that if they did anything slightly different, it wouldn't have the same turnout. So he makes it happen a very specific way. And when you really break it down, nobody would fucking start with kids and just isolate them. I guarantee you the people when this whole program supposedly started were fully aware of the nature versus nurture. And once you learn from your first mistake, you don't keep repeating it in science. That's a fact. That is an actual fact. That's not a truth. That is a fact. That if you keep, what is the definition of insanity? Is to keep trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is everybody in science is insane in his universe because they keep trying the same fucking thing and trying to control it. And what you get is and I saw the comment, and I'm sorry, I will deal with it, what you said, that is, some people would, look, there's a percentage of law enforcement officers who are pieces of shit. They're there. I've seen them. I've met them. But a majority of the police officers I have met in my life were upstanding, amazing fucking officers. And a majority of those were also former military. And you learn that discipline through the military. You become a law enforcement officer. And every single military vet, police officer friend of mine admits that we are not part of the Department of Defense. We get used by it. We can be used by it. But the fact is we are private citizens that are given special authority to arrest, detain, and use lethal force when necessary. But we're still part of the same community we are serving. Just like your paramedics and your fire department are part of your community. They're people you know. Same thing with law enforcement. And one of my friends who didn't serve in the military tried to start that argument with me. And I said, you have a fucking union. As scary as I know your job can be, you can leave whenever the fuck you want. You can do it in the middle of your fucking shift. Quit. There's not a goddamn thing they can do to you except for take your fucking retirement. You can't do that in the military. You do that in the military, you're going to prison.
Oh, AWOL.
You will go to fucking prison. You won't have that happen to you when you're a police officer. Also, police officers do not train. And Shane was on here. Shane was on here, last week? Remember that? And we talked about this, that law enforcement doesn't get the training that the military gets on a day-to-day basis. So they should never be given that authority of behaving and conducting themselves and arming themselves like a military unit. They do have a right to defend themselves with weapons that are equal to those that they're going to face and the tools. But when you see a fucking police vehicle pull up that is nothing more than a hand-me-down from the Department of Defense that was designed to deal with IEDs, they were designed because two of the vehicles I've seen that went up to possibly being handed down to law enforcement, I'm like, that does not belong anywhere in the police department anywhere because it's terrifying. Is that what you want? You want to terrify your citizens? No, I get so annoyed at these guys that want to militarize the police. It's like, stop that shit. You guys are part of your community. You are part of it. You might not like that I say this, but the fact is all you are is a duly authorized citizen in your fucking area. Duly authorized to use lethal force when necessary, detain, and arrest. Wait, what was that? There's no, Mr. Tilker.
No.
There's literally millions of police interaction in public every day, and there's how many bad interaction, a handful. Yeah, I don't know in Canada. I know here in the U.S., they like to talk about how our Black communities are being oppressed by law enforcement, but we see that that's not totally true. In fact, I haven't seen a case where it was true. But I'm not saying that police officers don't exhibit bad behavior, but on every single major case we've seen televised where we got to see the, especially with the cameras, and I'm a big supporter of that back before it happened. I kept pushing for it back in 2013, 2014, that law enforcement, every police officer should have a camera on them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like fences, you know, cameras make people behave better when they know they're being recorded.
Yep.
It doesn't mean you're going to guarantee get that good behavior. Terrifying criminals is okay, you know, because law enforcement, especially SWAT, is trained in breaching, and especially drug, you know, in anti-drug enforcement operatives in law enforcement. Some of my favorite videos I've ever seen is those fuckers breaching a facility. And there's this one I saw like 10 years ago that just fucking laid me out. I was laughing. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's how you do it. They breach this place, and you know, you expect a fucking gunfight. Those guys came in and scared the shit out of those criminals, caught them off guard, and they all dropped to the fucking ground. Every single one. Nobody put up a fight. And that's what, you know, that's the way it should go. But it sucks. Every day you have gunfights now. You have people that are being wound up by the media and social media to attack police officers, ambush them.
Dude, did you see the video of the guy that jumped at the police guy with an axe?
It's crazy shit.
I didn't.
Suicide by cop, man. That's, you're just asking to be murdered.
Yeah.
But I love law enforcement. I have a lot of friends in law enforcement. I support them wholeheartedly. Our country would just be in a shithole. And the only people that are going for defunding the police, and I'm not talking about the individual citizens falling for this shit. The people that are behind it are all communist and or socialist. And socialist is communist. It's soft communism. It's the welcome mat to communism. Or you can even say the front door to communism.
Welcome mat.
Because the difference between socialism and communism, this is really how it works. One is forced upon you, communism, and the other one you vote for. And socialism will eventually lead to that. It's the law of inevitability. And we've seen every case in the world, socialism has failed each time. Communism fails every single time because there's no desire. This is where Roddenberry is wrong about his future utopia, where people work not for money, because people are driven people. We're driven. We want a better life. And we've seen this time and time again, historically, when people are given things, they lose the luster and the drive. The drive is what really pushes people to want these things, to get nice things.
Yeah,
And
but
you-
like, look at
if
all
you-
these look at the people who are about to inherit the world, like the generation below. I'm a Gen Xer. I honestly believe the generations below me.
It's so weird that you
are
and I
so-
are both Gen Xers, because I'm
are
at the
so
first
entitled.
days of it.
Yeah, I'm 79, so I'm like, I've got 3 or 4 years till the cutoff, depending on which thing you.
Yeah, and I'm in that gray area, but I am absolutely, because Keith is not. Keith is younger than me. He is absolutely all the way in to Gen X. I am in that gray area, and which people born around my time were still, some of them were baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, because I don't fit the definition of a baby boomer. I am absolutely, my parents were not World War II parents or Korea.
Well, my whole
my dad was old, technically Cold War to Vietnam age. And I was born in 64. 64, they try to say, absolutely, that is baby boomer. I'm like, no, there's this gray area that goes all the way up to 66.
Yeah, they
that
didn't really
it depends if you fit the parameters.
I always felt like there should be something in between baby boomer and Gen Xer, but I don't know what it is.
It's no, it is it. You're either one or the other, but
Oh,
you have
okay.
that gray area, and it's how you think and who your parents were that defined whether you're a baby boomer or a Gen Xer. I am not. I'm Gen X because my parents were not World War II Korea. They were Cold War Vietnam era age, and I also have that mindset that you find in Gen Xers that you don't see in baby boomers are a lot more conservative than people like Keith and I.
Right.
You know, I don't like pigs, but I know that we need them. Hold on, I want to go back to this. Communism is impossible to implement because it's corruptible of humans. You could do it if you got robots to do it, but even then, we're not compatible with it. You need accurate dollars for your work. Exactly. And I told a friend of mine this once, and I don't know, I think he's still on my friends list, but he doesn't talk to me anymore. I said, you try to take my ability to make a fortune off of my ideas, I'll fucking kill you. That's the way Americans are. That's what's great about America is you can be a self-made person in this country. Good luck doing that anywhere else. Great Britain is one of the few places you could do that. You know, anything under the UK, you have a chance of making something of yourself. That includes Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and of course, Canada. And I see you saying that, but there's actually, again, a gray area with even the ending of Gen X. It's a gray area. There's this window between 1978 through 1982 where you could still be Gen X depending on who your parents were and how you're raised. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's stealing your hair. Yeah, actually, I made fun of him because right now he even looks like him. He looks like the sheriff from Stranger Things when he comes back from Russia.
Yeah, a lot of people have been saying that. I haven't seen it yet.
I know I was one of the first ones to say it to you.
Yeah, what's his Hopper, right? That's his name.
Kingsport Cow. You technically you're in that window. You're in that gray window, so you absolutely could be a Gen Xer.
Or a Millennial X.
I don't think there's anything saying.
Or
Stop making up shit, Martin.
Or ex-millennial.
Ex-millennial. That's
socialism is unfair to the hardworking gifted socialists. But here's something I will say. I believe in socialist programs, not socialism. I like social programs that work. Right now, currently, our social programs don't work. They lack oversight. And you cannot allow government to oversight. I'm sorry. You need private.
Oh. I think we lost Gerry. He's frozen, right?
Yep.
Poke. It's not working. You're not workity, as CC would say.
Oh well. Take over the show.
Oh. What have you guys talked about The Boys yet? Because that finale was gnarly.
3 or 2 things that have been said about Garth Ennis, but besides that,
yeah, I don't know how we got on this generation topic, but because I had a point and then I lost it, but I actually haven't been to sleep yet, which is why if I seem out of it. But today's day 24, so that's good. He must be. Oh, he says to keep talking, so he's going to come back, I guess. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed The Boys, and although I did think it was weird that Maeve survived. What did you think about that?
I haven't seen the Boys.
Oh, you haven't watched? Well, shit. Well, what's something you have seen? Well, let's talk about something you can talk to me about.
Nothing, because I haven't seen the last one of the Orville.
You see Thor yet? Have you seen Thor?
No. I protect my mind.
Oh, whatever. I actually liked it. I thought it was funny. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've just been working on, Gary's friend Josh
Oh,
Becker, the
you
director.
know what? I'm watching the Terminal List.
That is so good. Oh my god.
Yes. I've only on
I watched
the
it all in
chapter
one.
of the
You're what?
the gut episode.
Yeah, I had to watch it all in one sitting. I couldn't stop watching it. It drew me in. It was really good. Gosh. So what? Well,
Actually,
good.
guys, I could hear you the whole time, and I just finally left because it didn't look like it was going to right itself. If you guys didn't see, Brazil and parts of Latin America lost YouTube.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's in StreamYards. I got a notification when I rejoined you guys that
Wow.
Fortunately,
Like it's down, or the government said no more YouTube for you people.
no more YouTube for you. They're like the soup Nazi. No soup for you. Wow, that Skinwalker episode. Yeah, let's get into this because I wanted to just enjoy the first hour of free versing and talking about shit, but I want to get into this. I'm not scatterbrained. I'm ADD. I freely admit to it, but I'm not scatterbrained. One of the reasons why I've had such a good career is because of the way I manage my time. And you can't be scatterbrained and be a good time manager.
Oh, be sure to join us for ADD. Oh, hey, look. There's
That's what we call it, ADD theater. That's right.
We really ought to just make
tangents.
a show called ADD Theater and just like really lean into it. Just like,
well, it's so easy to derail me. It really is. Hate for the rich, never the same is. Well, that's what's funny. I find it really funny how 1% of our country pays for almost all of the taxes. 1%. It's the richest motherfuckers on the planet, including corporations, pay for 90% of the taxes that run this country. These politicians abuse their privileges.
Man.
Giving themselves raise. That should be voted on, not given by themselves.
Well, not just that, but it wasn't supposed to be.
Working for a company. Imagine working for a company and being told that whenever you feel you need a raise, you get to do it, and you, the employees, get to vote that raise. That's insanity. No, it's not how it fucking works.
Or look at the national deficit. Oh, like they don't let me handle my credit card that way. Oh, I maxed out. Let me increase my limit. That's not how that works,
Get ready for one of my favorite sounds. Oh, that's a bottle. I love crushing these bottles after I'm done drinking. Yeah, I'm out of coffee. I'm drinking water now, but I'm not ending this show. Again, if you didn't see it, Gerry with a J. I got it. I inherited this cup from my friend Lauren and her husband Brad. His dad was Gerry, and he died, and I inherited the cup. I thought that was sweet. I'm like, but there, I think I joked. He didn't die from drinking something from this cup, did he? I have a fucked up sense of humor.
You think you have a fucked up? I have a flask right there that has my buddy's ashes in it, and he died from cirrhosis. Now, tell me, I don't have a fucked up sense of humor. So,
yeah, well, some of you guys already know the story about my daughter when her hamster died, and I felt awful about it. And I told her that it got eaten by the other hamster, Nibbler. He was given the name Nibbler, and he really took that name to the end levels of that name. And I walked in, and I just saw ribs and skin. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he was just over in his corner like, man, my roommate was tasty. I'm like, you're a psycho. And so I flushed his remains down the toilet. I didn't want Zoe seeing that, her pet being cannibalized by the other fucking pet. So when she came home, I said, oh, he died. I sent him to the pet store to get his ashes. And it was one of those spontaneous lies, like, why did I say that? Because then I had to order an urn from Amazon, pet urn, a ceramic one. And when it came in, I called Mac, who's one of my closest friends. He's my brother. And he's listed as my brother on Facebook. And he brought over a Folgers can full of paper and cigarette ashes. And we ground it up with a pestle, into a powder. And we put it in there. And with the understanding, he says, I'm helping you with this. So I get to tell her when she turns 18 that she's been crying over cigarette ashes. And I went, okay, all right. But you got to understand, I'm a dick. I'm a complete dick. I can fuck with you in a way. So what I did was when Zoe was 17, I said, this is what really happened. I told her a whole story. She was like, oh my God, Dad, you and Uncle Mac are assholes. And I went, yeah, it's true. And I said, but here's why I'm telling you, because I want you to call him. And I want you to go off on him, and I want you to cry that you found out what he did. And I want you to end it with, I hate you. I hope I never see you ever again. And then drop the phone and walk away with the crying sound as you leave, and I will pick it up. And that's exactly what she did. She called him, told him, I can't believe it. You did. That was my childhood. And she walked away and dropped the phone, and I picked the phone. Mac, you there? Hey man, I got to comfort her. She found out. She read one of my emails and found out, man. I'll call you back. And I hung up, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. So it's true. I am a really dick. I'm not really an asshole because there's humor involved with a lot of the stuff I do. And one of the worst pranks I ever pulled on him, Mac, because he lived with us a lot of her childhood, and that's why he's like family. He was my heterosexual life mate, practically, because we lived together all the time, and he was always there for her. Good uncle. One of my favorite moments when I came home was those two arguing about SpongeBob SquarePants game on Xbox. I walked in the door, and he says, well, do you want me to help you or not? She goes, I want you to help me because I can't get at that point. He goes, then stop telling me how to do things when I'm playing it. But I know that there are things that you need to do that you're not doing. They were just going at it. It was funny. And, but one of the worst pranks I ever pulled on him was, because he pranked me, man. The first night he moved in with me, he pranked me. Zoe wasn't home. And that's when I knew I was safe, is when Zoe was home, he wouldn't fuck with me. But when she was gone visiting grandma or her, family, I was in trouble. I needed to watch out because the first time I woke up to the sound, and the sound when like one of those cotton woolly blankets, that rough fabric hits corrugated cardboard edge, and it makes a very distinct sound. It's sort of like there are distinct sounds that you recognize when you hear it. It's sort of like the springy thing, door stopper. Everybody that grew up with one of those, you know that sound. Same thing with cardboard. When you hear the fabric rub against the edge of a cardboard box, you automatically know what that is. And it was unnatural in my room, and it woke me up. I heard that sound, it woke me up, and I woke up, and then I turned in my bed, and he was standing, no shit, with his hands spread out like this, and this is all I could see of his face. Him looking over this blanket at me, holding this blanket up. And my head went back like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he just drops the blanket and he goes, nothing, go back to sleep, and left my room. And I went and I put everything against that door. Because I'm like, that motherfucker was going to blanket party me. He was going to throw the blanket over me and pummel the shit out of me like a fucking silverback ape and then run out.
Like a silverback ape. That's good.
And I'm like, that motherfucker. I knew war was on with him. And what he didn't know was I'm a long game player. I don't have to get you back immediately. I get you back in time by doing.
Why does it just say Facebook user? That was weird.
Oh, that's somebody from Facebook. And for some reason, when they join our chat, that's all it says. I'm guessing that's Stephanie Beatty. You so funny. I don't know who that is. I thought it was Stephanie, but I don't think Stephanie would say it that way.
You so funny.
But hashtag blanket party, man. Being former military, I know what those things are. I used to threaten my guys. I said, if I catch one of you guys throwing a blanket party in my fucking squad, I'm going to fucking smoke your ass. I will take you outside and you will be doing PT until your body breaks and you can't do anything. You're just laying there like lumps of shit, just needing to be carried back into the barracks. Well, that's a different blanket party, but it's part of the process. You put soap bars. We didn't have soap bars when I was in. We didn't use soap bars. We all used liquid soap. You could put the soap bottles in there and beat the shit out of somebody with them in a sock. But the whole idea is to pummel them with soft parts of your arm and your hand. You don't hit them with your fists. The goal is to not leave bruises. But knock the wind out of them, all that shit. Oh, it's Keith. He's doing black guy stuff. Yeah. Too cool for us. If you want to join us, man, because we still need to go into this show because I love this fucking show.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I haven't logged a single second of it yet. So,
good God.
Yeah,
this last episode, every single episode, we've seen either a UAP or a UFO. Every fucking episode. There's absolutely no effects involved in this show. This was a rule that was made for History Channel, that the History Channel was not to tinker with it and add any visual effects outside of the mapping. When they show maps, they're allowed to show the CG maps where things were. But they cannot use it when it's live. When you see a live shot, it is live, nothing changed, altered in any way. That was the agreement they had to go with to do this show. You got to watch it, dude. It is an amazing show, and it terrifies me. It actually does.
Where can I watch it?
It's on History Channel, but it's the same channel I showed earlier. Same channel I showed earlier. Share.
Oh, that okay? No, you don't have to show me. I know. It freaks me out that you put that on your YouTube.
It's right here at the bottom. See it right here?
Yeah. No,
it's on the TV shows.
But I just mean if I have a way I'm already paying for it that I could watch it.
If you have DirecTV or anything like that, and you have the History Channel, you can watch it there.
Okay.
Hold on. What is it? That strange thing. Look, man, the final episode, that's fucking freaky when they did the 3D mapping. And in two of the locations where they have the highest activity, there was visual anomalies with the digital mapping that went up into the air. They start in the air. They don't start from the ground. They start from the air above those areas and go up at specific angles, and they point at the same thing. And this is scary shit, man. That there could be a Stargate / portal. Just like, because one of the things they captured several episodes back on camera, no effects, looked like the Deep Space Nine wormhole opening up.
Oh, wow.
In low res, because it was so small in the sky with this camera that's capturing the entire sky. But goddamn, man. Goddamn. In this latest episode, they now know that the area underneath the mesa is hollow and that there is a dome-shaped object that has metal plating on it. There's no explanation for it. It's got a mixture of ceramic and metal. It's coated, and the kind of metal that it's using in ceramics is the same as what you would see in the tiles of the shuttle.
Interesting.
What the fuck is that doing in the Mesa? We know that Bigelow Aeronautics owned it previously. They're the ones who caved in the cave system. And they knew they had finally found the mouth of the cave when they used the smoke grenades. And the smoke, instead of going up in the air, was being sucked down into the fucking hole.
Even the sex box like Skinwalker Ranch. I think they're just like Gerry. They're always here for the big Gare Bear.
Well, then they had their final meeting, and I don't want to give away too much, man. You need people, all you guys need to watch the show. There's no visual effects involved with this show. Everything you're seeing is happening. It's for real. These people that are getting injured by microwaves, gamma radiation, and heavy magnetism that they've never seen levels like this before. And none of it, it's all localized. It's always localized, but it's not consistent. It's almost like they're being targeted. And one of the areas that'll suddenly erupt is that well on Ranch House 2. And we've had people, the latest one just had a checkup. He had perfect heart. Everything was really good. He was healthy. Suddenly he has a cardiac episode standing there while they were listening to the 1.65 gigahertz radio signal. All of a sudden, he just heard crackling, not what they were hearing, what we were hearing. He heard something different, and he got nauseous, and suddenly his heart started skipping. Some crazy fucking shit. And
hey, I'll be right back.
No problem, buddy. Okay. So I'm just telling you, man, if you're not watching the show, you've made a mistake. This show is the shit. And the meeting that they had at the end of this is the lead in for next season, because they can only work part of the year for specific seasons. And I don't think it's just for, it has to do with the weather. It's not just for the series having a season, but it's almost like the shit that goes on with the island, Oak Island. Even though I feel really let down with that show, I stopped watching it. And what I do is I wait till the final episode, and then I watch the final episode and see the wrap up of the season. Yeah, I know, right? I normally know that race, the alien race from Xenu. My God, man. He was a terrible fucking sci-fi writer. L. Ron Hubbard. He wrote terrible science fiction. But I got to tell you, man, it takes someone that loves science fiction to create that fucking religion. And he wanted a tax dodge. That's what it was all about, was finding a tax dodge. I think self-helping and stuff like that is always good, but you can't build a cult around it. And David Miscavige's wife missing. I mean, nobody knows what the fuck she is. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to have fucking killed her. It's terrifying. He's Tom Cruise 2.0. He's based his entire new look off of Tom Cruise. And they're like best friends or some shit like that. And as much as I love Tom Cruise's movies, and I like his acting, he's a very good actor. He's batshit crazy in real life. Absolutely fucking batshit crazy.
You can say that twice.
Oh my God. Look, when they start doing that excavation, where's that? Yeah, they took a drill going to going not down, but into the mesa, under it at an angle. And that's when they ran into this dome. And anywhere they tried to move that drill bit, it just kept running into it. And he said it was changing shape, and they're like a V shape. And he goes, no, it's more like a dome. I'd say it's more like a dome. And that's when they adopted that. They believe it's dome shaped. It could still end up being V shaped, but either way it fucking goes. What the fuck is it doing down there? What the fuck is it? Why does it have that kind of metal and ceramic mix? No, they're going to have to remove the boulders and open the cave entrance and go in there. Most of that stuff's going to have to be pulled down, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it. They might want to get on top of the mesa and have a tool that pushes shit out of the way, but they're going to need to open up that cave entrance so people can go in there safely. Blind Frog isn't a million miles away from Skinwalker Ranch. I've not watched that show. I tried watching the first episode and it bored me. So I don't know where it's going. Scientology says we're all in. Yes. I read that one. I remember when Hubbard went on Oprah promoting his Scientology book. Yeah, dude was crazy like a fucking fox, man. But he was a con man all the way. Yes, exactly what I said. Or are you just mimicking me? Because he really is. He's very gifted. He knows how to make movies probably better than anybody today. And good God, that guy's crazy. I love watching him in movies. He's a great actor. I think he's a very good fucking actor. He's been in some really solid films where he got to show some of his acting chops. And I've been sort of a fan of his since the movie Taps with George C. Scott and him and Timothy Hutton. Oh, you got to go? All right, Tickletron, good seeing you. I guess we won't see you this afternoon with Cameron Pasha. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Hope you have a great weekend too, my friends. It's good seeing you. But I will tell you, look, man. Again, if you're not watching this fucking show, you need to start watching it. And season 1 and season 2, you get little bits here and there, but they didn't know what they were dealing with in season 1. They were freaked out a lot of the time by what was happening. And Dragon, man, geez, that guy, he's so weird. I like him, but he's weird. Travis is the dude I watch for. Hey, Bill's here. What's up, Bill? I have not. I've got it added to my queue to watch. I'll probably try to watch it over the weekend. I worry because, look, don't tell me. I mean, I won't tell you I didn't enjoy the Resident Evil movies because I did, but they weren't Resident Evil to me. I've enjoyed one of the CG animated ones. It was done almost like anime. It's pretty good. I hope that they get this one right. I've heard bad reviews for Netflix's Resident Evil show, but we'll see. I saw it was in my queue, so I hit plus, and so I'm going to watch it this weekend. I hope it doesn't suck. I really do.
Well, as confet with thee, as is shredding it to hell, man.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said. Shredded, I understood. What the fuck did you say, Martin?
As from Hill versus Babyface.
Oh, yeah, as. Okay, what about him?
He's shredding that series.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Mercilessly.
Hey, I trust him. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, Louise. But this latest season has really ramped up. Shit's happening, and every episode there's a UAP or a UFO. And when they actually have a designation for it. When it's just a light or something reflecting light, they refer to that as possibly just a UAP. They don't know if it's a solid object. But when they see something that has mass or appears to have mass, they refer to it as a UFO. I'm not sure what that means, Pat. I like Cardinal Sin, so is it a compliment? Oh, yeah. Look, man, if you are ready to have your eyes open, take that fucking red pill. This show is because it came on the heels of the shit with the Tic Tac videos, and I think they even talk about it in season 1. And then the DoD steps up the game and says, "Yeah, those are real. We don't know what they are. We refer to them as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena." But the fuck are they? And this show is going in a way, because when I first heard about this show, I'm like, why is Travis getting involved with a ranch known for folklore? And here's what I think is really going on there, is the fact that it's a fact that forms of radiation and magnetism, all the different ones, microwave radiation, can cause hallucinations. Cause you to see shit that's not there. So is that what all this folklore stuff has been caused by? And how long has this been here? Because the legend goes back hundreds of years. So I think it is a Stargate. I think there's something special about that land. But I've said the same thing growing up around Superstition Mountain when I grew up in Phoenix, that there was a lot of activity around those mountains. Yeah, I the CG one, it was okay. I saw that one.
The series or the movies?
I like the CG movies better than the series.
I didn't
But they had a
know.
CG series too, and I just was like, it's okay, because it came out in the middle of all the woke shit, and so it's hard to enjoy anything in the middle of that. But now we're seeing Netflix snap back, and we're going to see the return to logic-driven writing again. Hold on a second, I got messages here.
But I wasn't aware of that CGI series. Now I have.
It is over there.
Well, I don't have the same content that you, so maybe I'm screwed.
Well, if you go to that website that I keep showing, I do believe it's on there. Yeah, I think every iteration of Resident Evil is on there.
I would have.
Well, that might be true, Awesome One. That might be very true. But the scary part of this show is imagine ants becoming sentient and realizing we're watching them in their little environment. That's how it feels when you watch something like this, because whoever these things are, whatever they are clearly advanced from us. And there used to be a lot of rumors that this was just skunk works. This is vehicles being tested by the Department of Defense at Area 51, which technically is not what you think it is, Groom Lake. Now, I say right now, Fat Steven's full of shit, because he said I added the name of this person as a band.
No, it's changed. The name is slightly different.
Did you already block him?
I'm on it. I don't remember how to do it on the channel dashboard.
I just blocked him. So yes, they are. They outnumber us, but they're 1,000 times smaller than us. So, not that ants couldn't kill a fucking grown human being, because they've done it. And if you ever seen those army ants down in South America, and the ones in the Congo too, Jesus Christ. Your last one. Was it any good? I can't remember, because I've watched some of them on Netflix, but I don't know. Ooh, cool. But once again, if you have not seen this show, you need to watch it, especially season 3. Rush your way through seasons 1 and 2 to get to season 3.
Hey, boss, we have a super chat.
Oh, hey. Kingsport Cal, how do you think you would be if not for the Army? I owe so much to the Army. It changed my life for the better. No matter the bad stuff that everybody sees bad stuff in the military. Everybody sees bad stuff in this life. You know, it taught me the meaning of real friendship. I didn't really have as deep a friendship with somebody as I did when I was in the military, until the military. And the military taught me how to be a better version of myself. And even if that was unintended by the military, that's what I learned in the military. I became a better version of myself. On top of that, I became more confident because I lacked a lot of self-confidence before I was in the military. I was cocky, but it was all fucking blustering. It was all peacock feathers. You know, the military made me far more secure in who I was and what I was doing. And I was always put in a position of being a leader. And so therefore, I was always left with sometimes what would be considered life changing or life and death situations where people could die if I made a bad decision. And I always seemed to make the right decisions, or at least the ones that helped and or allowed us not to die. But if I hadn't had the Army, I'd be less confident. I'd probably be dead now, to be honest with you. I'd probably be dead. Yeah, that's what I feel. So I want to thank you for your super sticker, buddy, or super chat. Let me see. What should I play? Oh, do I have anything new? Let's go look. Nope, nothing new. Dang it. So I'm going to play this one because it's military related. This is for you, Kingsport Cal. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. And away we go.
Hey, here's your free cup of coffee from a lady in Rhode Island. What?
I actually need to get a better military one because that one cracks me up. But I'm going to get the video of Hoot telling the other character in Black Hawk Down, because Hoot is an amalgamation of several characters, real people. And the line where he's talking about it's about the guy next to you, or the scene where he confronts the senior officer for the Ranger unit. He says, "I don't like seeing your men in here without their with their weapons charged and their safety's not on." And he says, "This is my safety, sir. This is our safety, sir." And I'm like, what a great fucking comment. That major had no idea where to fucking go with that. What's an origin story for Backdoor Gerry? What was that?
Hey, unfortunately, I have to dip out. So I'll hit you up later. I'll try to swing by on that other.
Well, that one, again, the rule is you have to have watched the series.
What series?
Ms. Marvel.
Okay, then I won't because I haven't. So, but
yeah,
I'll watch.
Because that was the one thing Cameron asked.
Okay, yeah, for sure. All right, brother. Well, you take care. I'll hit you up later.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Take it easy. I'll see you
Have a
later.
good day.
Maybe next year they'll get to the bottom of this. Look, they're going to have to. They've got to get into that cave system. And I suspect that's what we're going to see. Good morning, Deanna. Hope everything's going okay up there on the farm. Or down there on the farm. Down there on the farm. My directions are messed up today. I hope Dave is doing okay. This is what... when I first started blogging, the first thing I started blogging about was my military experience. No, I was in the military in 1990 and I got out in 98. The internet did exist when I got out, but I wasn't blogging about that. I was only blogging about Blade Runner. Very few people knew much about me. And I encapsulate way too much of my life. Oh, Silver Dollar City, that should be fun. Awesome. Get wet. Hell yeah. Man, I am impressed with their rides at Silver Dollar City now. They have grown. I mean, the first time I heard of Silver Dollar City, it's just like this little place with a log flume type ride or something and some swings. Now they've got fucking roller coasters and shit. That place has become another King's Dominion Six Flags. But hold on, isn't a guy from Black Hawk Down? Yeah, he is. The guy Ewan McGregor played the part of for sexual assault. Doesn't mean what he did, and this is where I differentiate with who he was in the military as to who he is in civilian life. What he did took fucking bravado, and who knows, his PTSD may have led to some of the shit that he fucking did with the assault. I don't know. He saw some shit and he damn near died. He was the guy who survived 3 fucking direct hit RPGs. That's who that guy is. The coffee maker. Yeah, the log ride. Now they got other rides there. That place is amazing. Oh, please do. I hope she's having a good time. I hope you're both having fun. We talked about it earlier, Bill. It was a good episode, but it had a lot of problems. It still had problems. And it's getting shocking because the first 2 episodes were really fucking good of this season. And I think the quality went down really quickly. The away mission thing. And I think here's what's going on with that, because as much of a TNG fan as Seth MacFarlane is, he's also a Star Trek fan. And Star Trek, you always saw Kirk going away on away missions. And so I think that's their nod to it. But we've matured as an audience thanks to Nicholas Meyer, really. Nicholas Meyer is the one who really pushed forward the Navy becoming Starfleet. And so it's got a lot of naval ceremonies. There all sorts of things, and so therefore having your senior commanding officer going on an away mission with the second in command is just unheard of. You don't do that. But I think it's his attempt to nod to the original series of Star Trek. And I think it's a mistake because we understand that now, that what Kirk did was unprecedented and should not be repeated. But I did enjoy it, Bill. It was a good episode. I don't know Dustwolf, and Deanna might know. Monkey Jeebus. What's up, Monkey? Log rides and backdoor, Gary. Fuck you. Anyway, I was talking to Polly yesterday, by the way, and I said, I'm so glad you're back and embracing backdoor Gary. Because they've really, Polly's the one who started it. And it's still going, man. And I'm going to do a shirt. And it's just going to be for members only. Hashtag backdoor Gary. Members only t-shirt. It'll even say that, members only. Fire in the Hole was cool too. I don't know that one. Yeah, anytime, man. As long as I'm not in the middle of artwork, I'm always hoping to have a chat. In fact, even while I'm doing artwork, I can video chat. That way it's not interrupting my work. But anytime, Kingsport Cow. Penny, I've still not watched it yet. I've still not watched it. Keith has. He loved it. And he said what he liked about it was that it does not make Colonel Tom Parker look like a good guy, which I'm glad to hear because he was not. I'm not even fucking answering that. Fuck you. There you go. Yeah, I did like that part of the story. And that's really kind of tragic what happened. It was very tragic. I don't know who that was. Calling in the middle of the show. It's 417. Oh, I know who it is. Hold on. I just need to let them know that the AC was fixed. You'll enjoy this. I do voice to text. Yes, period. They came and fixed the AC. Scoshy quick. Period. There. Hopefully that'll do it. I enjoyed the story of the Kalon. I also thought it was interesting bringing in the other one, the other Kalon robot. And I kept expecting something to happen, and I'm glad it didn't. Oh, yeah. See, I've never been there. I've never been there. I have not watched that series. I've got it on my queue to watch. I'm going to try to get around to seeing it. As long as I can make it through episode 1 without rolling my eyes, I'll watch more episodes. Instead of Skinwalker, it's Backdoor Ranch. Yeah, it's Backdoor Mountain. Fire in the Hole just sounds just horrible. It sounds like somebody's got really fiery Mexican food diarrhea. So, but going back over Skinwalker Ranch, that final scene where they're in that round table meeting is so fascinating to hear what's being said and the reactions, seeing the reactions of what they saw. I mean, in many ways, when you think about it, this really does, because it was brought up, I think, last week when we were talking about the show, that some of this is reminiscent of how they did Ghost Hunters. And Ghost Hunters, they would do the investigation and then show video to the people that own the property or were caretakers of the property. And they would go like, what the fuck? But a lot of that shit was fake. This show, none of this is being faked by anybody that works on the show. That was part of the contractual agreement, that there would be no fucking editing, changing of, when I say editing, I mean changing the way things happen. They are more consistent with reactions, because when you see their reactions, it's actually their reactions to the scene. It's not done like your Drama Island shows where somebody, like a Bachelor or whatever fuck they do, where somebody does something and then you show a reaction to people. That reaction may be to something completely different. Whereas on this show, you don't get that. You're getting reactions, but you're also hearing response at the same time. So they're showing everything is taking place in linear time, and even the edits. I don't give two shits about what Disney is doing with Predator. Really don't care. Disney can go fuck itself. I just I have zero interest in what they're doing right now. I want to care about Predator, but when Disney bought 20th Century Fox, I lost interest. When you saw that new Prey, I knew it was in the wrong hands. There was already a fan film. They stole from a fan film. But what do you expect? So, but hey guys, we made it to 2 hours. I did talk about Skinwalker Ranch. I do believe that majority of the stuff that's going on there is either extraterrestrial or extra dimensional. And because we don't know, the grays, whatever these people are, the lizard people, we don't know what they are. We don't know if they're alien or if they're extra dimensional. We don't know. They could be time travelers. I highly doubt that one. But I do believe that they could be extra dimensional and or extraterrestrial in nature. I lean more to extraterrestrial. That's just my personal leaning. I think that what's going on there, including all the fucking mythology around Skinwalker Ranch, with the human metamorphosis and all that shit, I think that's all part of what's going on here, because when you get these high levels of microwave emissions, gamma radiation, and heavy doses of magnetism, it causes hallucinations. That's a fact.
Yes, but hallucinations are not captured on video.
I don't know of any supernatural things on that ranch I've ever seen that looked supernatural to me. And I do believe a lot of people fake that shit. What we're seeing on this show is completely different. What you're seeing is a lot of aerial activity, and they're picking up activities going on underneath them. And where's this shit coming from? Also, there's an object. They believe that there's an object above the ground that keeps causing a rocket. It caused a rocket to deflect. That there was a UAP that they called a UFO that appeared during the one launch when the rocket exploded at launch, which they said that's unheard of. We've never had that happen with one of these rockets. And then on top of that, they've got the laser lights going up to a point, and that's where the rocket should have gone straight up. There's no wind that night, and somehow it went up and then immediately bent and went in another direction. That's unheard of with rockets. Rockets don't work that way. Rockets go straight unless wind changes it. And what happens with rockets in particular, where their fins are made, when the air hits it, instead of pushing it the direction with the wind, it actually turns into the wind. But there was no wind that night. And all the aerial phenomena that they got after that was horrifying. And people go, why is that horrifying? It's like, imagine things happening around you and to you that you have no control over. You have no control over these things happening to you. There's nowhere to go to get away from it. That's terrifying. Yeah, I don't buy most ghost videos. I think they're all bullshit. There's the occasional few I think that work, but I've gotten to the point where after I caught ghost hunters faking a video, caught them doing it. I watched it live and I'm like going, that's faked. And I know how they did it. And right afterward, not Grant, the other dude, quit the show. The following season, he left. And that was where he threw his fucking windbreaker over top of his head and walked in front of a FLIR camera. You could see it. Somebody walking with something over their fucking head. And I think Grant was involved in it too, because he acted like, what was that? What was that? He would have seen him. And I've always considered Ghost Adventures a lot of fake shit. Nothing happens that that often to people. To catch it every episode. Imagine things going your way out of control. Now we all have this thing in life, but you're talking about something above that, something outside of your life that's having a direct impact on you that you don't know what it is, and it's causing things to happen around you. This is what led, I believe, the ancients to write the Torah and the Bible, angels and all this shit. I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm with Ridley Scott on Prometheus. Boom, baby. We're planted here, seated here.
Well, Eric Von Daniken said it first.
Yeah, that's where that comes from, all the way back. And my dad read that book to me when I was a kid. I've been absolutely a Chariots of God person since 1974.
That reminds me, one of my dad's birthdays, I bought for him The Gold of the Gods, and he took the book. He stared at me and said, "I know what you're doing."
Gravity will do a different thing, Monkey Jeebus. If you know anything about the physics of how rockets work, they do something different. Gravity does something different. It doesn't cause it to bend a direction. It'll cause it to drift. But when you have the initial launch of a rocket, when it goes up in a straight line for quite a bit before it begins to change as the fuel decreases and Earth's gravity starts to work on it. It begins to bend, curve in a specific direction. And it's on its weakest point of the rocket. That will impact that. With what we saw the other night, that's completely different. It has nothing to do with gravity. What we saw was it go up and then turn, sharp turn. The camera angle, it went to the right. But it depended on where you were standing as to what direction it went. Oh, Anima Confusa, hi. You got here just in time for the show to end. Yes, it was a bad film, Martin. I agree with you. I did not like that film. And I'm a big fan of his. And I thought he did a shitty job with it. Yeah, but you never know a percentage of Hollywood are not convicted pedophiles. And technically they're hebophiles or ephedophiles. Once a child hits puberty, it becomes a different name for what they are. Hebophile is for early pubescent kids, and for 15, 16 before 18 is a pedophile or ephidophile. And but pedophile specifically is for prepubescent children. People go, "Oh, you're being overly technical." Well, that's what words were created for, to be specific. And I'm a very specific person. If you haven't figured that out about me, I'm very specific. I know I'm so late. I just got, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm glad to see you. You get to rewind. First hour was really about a mulligan stew of subjects, from Orville to other films and shows. But I tried to make the second hour more about Skinwalker Ranch because I'm fascinated by this shit. Always have been. It's because my dad read that book to me when I was a kid, and I saw the documentary later with William Shatner, Chariots of the Gods. And I've absolutely been a Chariots of the Gods kid almost as long as I've been Catholic, almost. Oh my God. Shut up, Monkey Jeebus. There are girls out there who have a particular look, and they actually use that on an episode of Law and Order, whatever that show was about sex crimes, where this girl was being used in videos and she looked like she was underage, but in reality, she just has that lack of growth hormone. So she still looks like a child when she's actually an adult. And they were irritated by that because, you know, the cops were, because it's like, you know, it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing, but it's in the ballpark, but it's not a crime. And so they're like, we can't punish this guy. And he got away with it. But in reality, he was into young girls that were, I think, 12-year-olds. So they weren't in puberty yet, even though some 12-year-olds go through puberty. Zoe went through puberty at 11 because I fed her too much beef. We had steak and burgers all the time. And they got to leave the midgets for the rest of us. That's why. I was just wondering where you've been this week. I heard, yeah, it's just internet. And I got blocked out of my own show today for a few minutes because the internet's the Wi-Fi here is not good. It's the I'm looking at the what's it called? CenturyLink modem is old. The router is very old and needs to be replaced because it's giving me less than 1 megabit per second, and I should be up there near 7 to 10 to be able to stream. It's not good. How's my accent there, Martin? It's not good.
You have said it yourself.
But
oh man, do you know who has had a really beautiful accent? Ricardo Montalban.
Oh my God!
My God.
Look, his accent. My other favorite is Antonio Banderas. I mean, I love his accent, but he's a Spaniard.
Yes.
You know, and so he speaks Castilian Spanish.
Now and the Montalban's accent in Radovkan, I liked it more than in the Spaceship episode.
Yes, he really went to town with it in that movie.
It was so theatrical.
They let him go beyond what he had done previously on screen. He got to overact.
You do not need to defeat him again. He tasks me. He tasks me, and I shall have him.
And then this line, you know, this is one of my favorite moments in the film. And it's directly from Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
I'll chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perdition's flames before I give him up.
Overact much? Fuck. He deserved an Oscar for that performance. Puss in Boots. I am Puss in Boots. I love the way he says it. I am Puss in Boots. I'm a big fan of Banderas, man. I like that he's now part of. I'm hoping he's coming back to be in the Expendables.
Well, we have Bardem as Stilgar. Maybe Banderas should have been in.
Yeah, Javier, what's he doing? He's in something new. I just saw it. He's going to be playing a villain or something in something, and I was like, "Oh my God, what a good pick!" And I'm a big fan of Javier Bardem. I just forgot his last name.
Bardem.
Bardem.
It's like Burden, but with an A.
I've watched a lot of his foreign films just to get to know him better. He's a really good fucking actor.
Very good.
So, but we're going to end it here. I want to thank everybody for being here. You got my list for me, Martin?
Oh, yes.
Because I have a shitty memory, and I rely on you to tell me who is here. Oh, of course. First, Anima Confusa was here. Thank you. Glad you showed up late or not.
Have you seen this? Justice Fat Seagull under viewers just joined.
Oh, is he in the chat?
I don't know. It's a banner on top of the chat.
I don't see that.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere. I'm not on the YouTube page, so I don't see that. All I see is what's in here. So here we go. Get back to Anima Confusa, Aaron Ratliff, Awesome One, Das Wolfen, Deanna, Decepticons Cave of Villains, Gap After Dark instead of Gap Stargate, Kingsport Cow, Monkey Jeebus, one of my two favorite monkeys. Mr. Tickle Trunk was here. It's good to see him, man. Pat was here. Penny, of course, that is Dork's mom. And of course, Dork Knight was here. Real Wade Nation, good to see you. Scribe Light, Socks Bulletin was here. The Lovely Sherry, Tin Man, Your Muslim Uncle, Zacharat 315, Off Nicks, and James Andrew Morrison. And before I leave, James Andrew Morrison, you know what John Wayne's real name was. His name, he had a girl's name. His name was Marion Michael Morrison. And his family came, part of his family came from Dublin. And the last time I was in Dublin, as you crossed one of the bridges on the side of a building was a huge John Wayne mural. It was fucking really nice. Fat raid. Yeah, I'm related to him. My grandmother. There you go. John's related. I'm going to bet if that's your real name, you're related to him too. Yeah, Marion Michael Morrison. Great fucking name. Apollomes Minion joined us too. I want to thank you. And once again, thank you guys for showing up today. It was really nice. First show I've done this week because of the internet problem. And I'm just gonna have to stomach it, and I apologize if I have any interruptions during the show. But I'll have Martin and hopefully some of my fellow friends that'll be here to help carry it if I get kicked because of internet. Oh, Jester of Sin, hey man, thanks for joining us. But this is the end, my friend. It's a dour song. But I want to thank everybody for being here, and we'll see you on Monday. Also, 2:00 this afternoon, don't forget, Cameron Pasha will be on and joining us at 2:00 Central Time. That is 3:00 Eastern Time, 2:00 Mountain, or 1:00 Mountain, and then noon Pacific Standard Time. If you're in Hawaii, nobody fucking cares. You figure it out. I'm not going to do the math for you. But I want to thank you all for being here. It's been wonderful hanging out with y'all. I do the show for you guys. And I'm still going to bet distantly related. Look, I'm going to tell you the joke to that. This is the joke. A Scotsman is just an Irishman who never learned to swim. The joke has also been said the other way. An Irishman is just a Scotsman that never learned to swim. So Fats is here. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. Wish you could have joined us this morning, but you had your own show. But anyway, this afternoon, it's going to be everybody that's on the panel. I don't know how many panelists we're going to have to have watched at least some of Ms. Marvel to be able to be a part of it. It's what Cameron Pasha requested. So it may just be Fat Steve and Keith and I don't know. We'll see. But Australia is 3 hours behind Hawaii and yet 24 hours ahead of us. Because they're in the future. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys either this afternoon or at least on Monday. You guys have a great weekend if I don't see you tonight. Okay? Peace. And get off our lawns.